Goth Eggman coming at you, slithering serpents and the bull god. Hey, this message is mainly directed towards my brother, my real life blood brother, about a conversation we were having. And I'd like to bring everybody in on this conversation and have them weigh in on this with Goth Eggman. Well, he's suggesting that where Goth Eggman should go is Slab City. And in the summertime, Goth Eggman's going to say, hell to the no. Too hot. Too caliente. But, as a snowbird idea, because right now I've got Linda Ashley Scott gonna put me up for a couple months till I can get on my feet. And I'm gonna go to Oroville, California, experience their drag strip and get Danielle some times and do a little modifications on her. I'm going to take your idea and use it as a snowbird idea and turn that into a business. And how I'm going to do that and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the idea and what I found out is two things that are really important to me to get this idea to work. One, there's a military base and they have active maneuvers and games, and there's they don't police their own brass. And in Slab City, the slabbers will go and police the brass, and it's got to where they can't trap it in that county. Well, Goth Eggman has taken that train of thought and his want and desire to redesign and make some custom brass knuckles as part of his custom merch. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make a forge, and I'm gonna get some molds made, and I'm gonna make my custom brass knuckles. This area right here. And since I'm gonna police the brass, and I'm gonna trade for the brass, and I want these to be as heavy as possible. I want that to be a knockout TKO. You get in a fight and you're wearing Goth Eggman brass knuckles. Yeah, they ain't getting up for that. And so we're gonna take and design them as Slithering Serpent's snake bite kit. And on the back, they're going to say, and this to fill it in, we're going to, just for a good excuse to fill it in beside weight, it's going to say, from the forge of Goth Eggman in Slab City, California, made in USA. And you got 4 knuckles. We're going to put a G-E-M with the all-seeing eye and the serpent wrapped around the triangle, a triangle on the pinky. So, and the way we're going to make and ensure that you have an original one, across the hilt here, I'll take and put the year, say it's this year, boom, that'll be the first 4 numbers. Next 3 will be letters. It will be whoever cast it in the mold. Say I cast it. It'll say GEM. And then after that will be the inspection number, because I'm going to count how many I can make. And that'll be the next number. And then after that will be your case number. And I'll, over the summer, design a case to go with these, you know. And so what's going to happen is I'm thinking, I've been thinking, set up a Kickstarter and, you know, take pre-orders, and, you know, we're going, that's where we're going to get our merch started. It is with some Kickstarter pre-orders. And I found out, you know, also that UPS and FedEx will pick up if you just make up your name of your address. And well, there will be a Goth Eggman Road, and that will be probably Goth Eggman's address. He will live in Slab City, Goth Eggman Road. And, well, the way it'll work out is, if Maisie shows up around my birthday, I'll get a distributor and have all the merchandise transferred to their warehouse and have them handle it directly from my website. That way I can go to Hong Kong with her and have residual money coming in from the sale of these products. If you don't show up, we're still going to send them to a distributor, and we're still going to take. And another thing that was kind of a stroke of genius on your part there, bub. If I go down there in the winter and I breed Mary again, which I definitely am going to plan to. Got her on a feeding regimen. She's all back to getting her back up to playing weight. We're working on that. So she's going to we'll go down there, and the same territory in Australia that the jungle carpet pythons are naturally from, well, Slab City, their temperatures pretty much emulate that. So I go down there in the wintertime. I breed my carpet pythons. I get rid of these ball pythons because I know you're making fun of me for getting ball pythons, because I've always called ball pythons just candy ass money, because yes, real men ride with retics and play with Morelia. So I'm going back to that train of thought, the way I've always been, and I'm not going to liquidate the ball pythons. I am going to restructure my infrastructure and sell off the ball pythons and trade them off for carpet pythons and for gas money and operating money and things to get my startup. So those are going to be up for sale. And your idea to go Slab City and my idea for the brass knuckles and kind of, and then I don't want to have another incubator incident and lose all my babies. And I know that you know how much I love my carpets. But when did I get Zohan? How old were you? I think you were 9 years old when I got Zohan, and I had him up until you were 32 when we had the fire in the facility in Anderson, and he burnt up. So, you know, I've had my carpets, my black and yellows for quite a long time. And, you know, the fact that Slab City, their temperatures just mirror jungle carpet python territory, you know, that way I'll just let the mama, like Mary, just naturally gestate them, and I'll go down there, and instead of having Coco in her cage, I'll mix up some sphagnum peat moss, some vermiculite, and a little potting soil mixture as filler that way they'll have an insulated area to coil up and gestate with. All I gotta do is don't mess with the temperature. Make sure that if it drops below, keep a generator going and heating pads on 90 degrees. We all good. To hell with the incubator. And ride it out till spring, till they pop. It starts getting hot. And I've sold all through and made all throughout the winter. By the time it starts getting warm and hot and time to go, once the triple digits start to creep in, it's time for me to head north. And once I get money in my pocket, I'm going one or two places. When I got money in my pocket from the sales of these and my videos, and we're gonna set up some merchandise with 13 and Solo and Mary and Jasper, Carabella, and Baphomet. We're gonna get them all set up with their own merch and start merch and for the carpets, and let everybody start knowing who the carpets are. And we're going to either, like I said, if Maisie shows up and she's real and she wants to take me, and as soon as I get this ID and inventory to fluorescent, and I'll get my carpet python babies. I'm heading to Hong Kong with her and taking all the monies in my profit. I mean, I'll bust my ass more, cause what I'll do, like I was thinking, and in early mornings, I'll police for brass. I'll trade and do everything. In the hottest part of the day, I'll take my siesta, put my ass to sleep. That'll be my sleeping schedule. Probably about from I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon till 8, 9 hours later, or whenever my ass wakes up. Get up, party with the locals while my forge is heating up. And hang and bang. Get my forge going nice and hot. Start laying out my product and getting them made. Getting them knocked out. That way I'm not hanging over a hot fire in the hot sun. Because there's a fire, there's no need for lights. I'll have a fire for light. Duh. And and if she doesn't show up, I get my baby carpets popped out and crawling out from underneath their mama. Gothic man, he's either going to Hong Kong or he's going to Vegas. And he'll spend the spring after his carpets come, once it hits triple digits in Slab City, and he wants to go to Vegas, and he wants to go to Sacramento. He wants to go to Vegas, do a little slut crawl. Cause, well, there's a lot of party people and a lot of fabulous restaurants, and some of my favorite singers have, from the 80s and 90s and some of the 2000s, now call Vegas home. Just like some of my favorite porno actresses. You know, Carabella herself, Miss Izzy Wild, is a Vegas girl. Casey Kisses, Vegas girl. Gia Darling, Vegas girl. You know, and even Carly Gray is in Vegas. So, you know, if you want to get freak nasty, and I got some money in my pocket, and days are paid, Gothic man, he be signing up for some fan material, because he's definitely a fan of theirs, and will use this opportunity with his newfound money to party naked. If he don't get the woman of his dreams, he will get, if he don't get the woman of his dreams to build his life with, he will at least get the women of his wet dreams to come into his real life and to fulfill his sexual fantasies and post content and let the whole world see it. Make money off that. And that's my plan. What do y'all think? What do you think, bub? Used your idea, give it a little Goth Eggman twist, because you had a good idea. You got a very good idea, because there's material, there's need, and my PPU will be pretty low. My content interest, I see how many views come on Slab City content, and I see how many views go on for forging and casting, because guess what? I could pour these, I can fire up a crucible, hit that as a reel, and pour that brass into that form, and y'all will dig that for some ASMR all day long. I can get some skylights settings of the military going off, with their exercise, and boom, there's content material right there too. I got all sorts of material. I got from the making of the videos of the product. I got for the assimilation of me into their society, because usually when I find my people, which I've tried here in Klamath Falls to find my people for almost a decade. And usually my brothers usually spot on right where my people are at. And I have a varying level of what I call my people. I have my business associates. I have my close friends. I have my colleagues. And got my road dogs. And I see some highly intelligent people that they're special, a little touched in the head from a lot of those videos I see out there. God, that man loves those people, because they're just polyeccentric. They're smart enough that I can conversate with and learn from, and them learn from me, and we have an exchange and a dialogue, and their crazy makes sense with my crazy, and because whenever you're that intelligent, and usually you're rich and too good for whatever. Most of those people look like fire me up a big fatty. Oh, crack open a bottle of tequila, a bottle of Everclear, a bottle of moonshine, because Goth Eggman, he also knows if he goes down there as well, and he takes his Aunt Ori's family recipe with him, and uses the great words of a great man, Steve Earle. We're going to Copperhead Road. We got another idea. You'll smell the whiskey burning down Copperhead Road. And please believe, I'll make my own moonshine. I will take my corn mash. I will take my sugar. I will bring. I will burn. Yeah, I'm already gonna have one fire going, and if I'm gonna be up all night, and if I got weed, and I got people to party with, from the and you're right, Bubba. That woman of in that video you showed me, that's a pretty hottie. I wouldn't mind partying naked with her. But you know what you need with weed and women? What makes the panties fall down? Alcohol. Alcohol. And you know as well as I do, you, you take Aunt Ori's recipe of that moonshine, you can drink it straight and burn a hole in your throat. I like a little orange juice with mine. Of course, I like Everclear and orange juice as well, but mix me a little OJ and moonshine. And I got weed with me. During party time, we're gonna have some fun time. And I'm gonna make some profit, because you know what? You know what sells real good? And will make me more money to buy me more brass? Making me some alcohol. So I'll take me some copper and make me a steel. Got some solder. We'll practice it up. And you know, if we got the soldering iron out, soldering gun out, but we're gonna have the dab rig out too. Alright. And it's in the wintertime. It's rainy season down there. Well, that gives me idea number 3. Bumper crop, bumper crop, bumper crop. If I go down there with some big old planters, because their soil looks like dookie water, just dead to the world soil. I'm don't know. I'd be afraid to put it in the ground. We'll find out with a few. We'll call them the sacrifice, but we'll bring a few planters. And well, there's 3 money making ideas right there. Cause I get sugar and some corn and some apples and make some apple pie moonshine. Bring those down there and fire that steel up, and fire that kiln up, and we'll get that forge going. We'll get that steel going, and we'll make some money. And like I said, I'll divert my big profits in my major big plan in my head, which is, if Maisie does what she says she does, and either way, I get my money and my startup and everything on with foreign currency exchange, I'll take that money and let it ride. I'll take, and I've got my plan, and every time I get $1,000 sold, invest in different stocks. I got a dividend plan of stocks and get me where I have a big quarterly check coming every year to my account, every quarter. Dividend stock payouts, if that company's doing good and the economy's doing good, God, that man's getting paid. And the more I sell this product, merchandise, and the more people watch my idea, that, and I take and I reinvest back into my content. Because, like I said, I'll go, if she doesn't show up, I'm making a beeline to Vegas. Beautiful people in Vegas. Porn stars of my dreams are in Vegas, reside in Vegas. Some of the greatest restaurants in the world, most top-notch restaurants, are in Vegas. And there is, I don't know, millions of hours worth of content that could be made. I keep my distance from the casinos. I keep my limits. I'll still hit them every once in a while to make some content. What's going on, and that was a game. And like I said, some of my favorite performers from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s have their regular show set up in Vegas. They're people that I want to see. I want to see those shows. And I don't know if Sigrid and Roy, if they're dead yet, not dead yet. I want to go see some of that before they. Because my ex-wife, she used to be fascinated with tigers. So, just a poke at her sort of situation. So, y'all tell me, what do you think about my plans? I see content about traveling and being forced out, and instead of taking the low road and that, I'm just gonna make content and go meet people. Please, Linda, be real. Your shit looks real, and you're not asking for dumb stuff. You're not crawling up my ass. And that woman looks, and like I said, step one is I'm going. It's 3.5 hours. I'm going to Oroville, California. If she's real, I'm gonna park my happy ass in her house, set my shit up, and figure out how to start parlaying my pennies and turn them into dollars, and dollars into dividends. And then when the opportunity in the summer goes, we'll go through that. So that's how it is. Y'all enjoy. Tell me what you think, bub. Good idea.